says former President Donald Trump represents an unprecedented threat to American civil liberties that could usher in a new era of racial violence, political tyranny. I think it's a legitimate warning. He writes, "It is the ordinary life we lead at our kitchen table and in our bedrooms that is most dangerously threatened by the tyranny that a return of Trump to power would represent. This is the kind of tyranny that everyone who reads these words should fear most and work hardest to hold at bay." He notes that Trump has already begun to dismantle political protections that might prevent him from carrying out threats. This includes sicking the military on his perceived enemies, which could be you or me, aligning himself with dictators whose charm and patriotism he praises, dismantling the civil service, and sacrificing American influence abroad by abandoning European allies. Edsel warned that 1/3 of MAGA Republicans expect imminent civil war. 1/3. More than half of MAGA Republicans say political violence is justified. Nearly 3/4 of MAGA Republicans believe that white people face discrimination and that there's a plot to replace white people in America. Which pretty much tells you, why white people are supporting Donald Trump, or why so many white people are supporting Donald Trump. It's all about white privilege. We want to keep our white privilege, don't you know? The study says, this is, he's quoting a study here. He says, assessments by law enforcement experts in violent domestic extremism and prior research, concern about the potential for political violence among MAGA Republicans appears to be justified. Edsel notes that there are 3 protections against a president being out of control. Number 1, White House advisors. 2, the threat of impeachment. And number 3, the threat of prosecution. Well, Trump is not going to have the same advisors again. He's not going to have John Kelly back. The threat of impeachment, he just shrugs because Republicans in the Senate won't convict him, so he doesn't care if he gets impeached in the House. And the threat of prosecution, the Supreme Court did away with that. So, or at least 6 Republicans on the Supreme Court did away with that. John Kelly, per our song just a moment ago, is quoted in the Atlantic as saying that he wanted Donald Trump, it's in Peter Baker and Susan Glasser's book, The Divider, Trump in the White House, that Trump asked John Kelly, a general, why can't my generals be more like Hitler's generals? John Kelly tried to patiently explain to him that Hitler did what Hitler told them to do, and it was a disaster, attacking Russia, and as a result, 3 times Hitler's generals tried to, and he didn't believe it. He said, no, they were totally loyal to him. That's what Trump told John Kelly. Meanwhile, over at Fox, Brian Kilmeade says if Trump becomes president and he gets generals like Hitler's generals, quote, that would be great. Seriously. This is Brian Kilmeade, quote, he would say, it's not your job to rein in the president. It's your job to do what the president wants. It would be great to have German generals that actually do what we ask them to do. Thank you, Fox News. We understand who you are and what you're all about. There is some concern about the polling out there, the Republicans flooding the polls. I'll tell you about that on the other side of the break, and I'll pick up your calls. What's on your mind today? Stick around.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 202-808-9925.
Helping you win the water cooler wars on the other side of this break. Stay with us.